Okay, you guys, so I'm about to make a video for you guys about fasting. The Lord let me know that that's what He wanted my next video to be about. I don't know if it's because maybe some of you out there having a problem with it or not doing it or whatever the case may be, but He told me that that's what He wanted the next video to be about. So I'm just going to start out this video with a prayer and then I'll get into it. Lord Jesus, I want to thank you so much for blessing us, all of us, in every way that you have, Lord. I pray that you please speak through me and say all the things that you want me to say, Lord, and anything that I say that you do not want to be heard or anything I say that you don't want me to say, I ask that they don't seek it in. I ask that you just please bless the viewers and help them find their way to fasting. And in the Lord Jesus Christ's name we pray, amen. Okay, so I don't have the Bible with me because I accidentally left it, but I do know for sure from reading the Bible that it is important for us to fast. The only reason why I know that is because, for one, that was the whole reason why I ever started fasting in the first place when I came to the Lord, because there was just it seemed like all the saints and everything like that in the Bible, a lot of them fasted. And then Jesus came in Matthew and he was talking about not fasting just one day. He was even saying about that. And he was saying when you fast. He didn't say if you fast. He said when you fast, as if it's important for us to do it. That's something that we should be doing. Now, I want to talk about why I think fasting is so important. The reason why I think fasting is so important for us to do is because I feel like it weakens our flesh and humbles us. Definitely it does. I mean, even in the midst of fasting, you're humble. You know, definitely you're humble. You're weakened and you don't even have time for the drama and things like that that you may usually entertain while you're not fasting, you know. The thing that we're supposed to do when we fast is entertain ourselves with God only. And it may be hard for us if we work and stuff like that. You might feel like you can't fast because you go to work so much, but you can also fast when you're at work. When nobody is around and everything like that, you can talk to Him. So pray to Him. Speak. People always think that there's only one way to pray to God, but just talking to Him and asking Him what you need and everything like that can be counted as prayer too. Giving Him, worship as you speak to Him and things like that. That's all you need to do. Go in and take some bathroom breaks or whatever and go in and talk to Him. If that's what you feel like you need to do. And if you're alone, you can talk to Him. If you get on your lunch break or anything like that, you can go ahead and read the Bible. Or if you are on your way to work, then you can read the Bible as well. So you just pretty much have to make sure that when you fast, you entertain yourself with Him, and try to make sure that you stay away from your friends that may be negative and stuff like that. Like, for example, whenever I fast at work, on a work day I mean, but whenever I fast, even though I have surrounded myself around good people that I can talk about God with all the time, I still don't go to lunch with them because I'm fasting. So I try to go and read the Bible and entertain myself with nothing but the Lord, pray to Him and read the Bible. So what I want to say is we can definitely do more at work. It doesn't matter when you do it. Some experience that I had when I first ever started fasting, that I know that fasting really helps and it's really effective. I had never fasted for a day in my life, and I finally went and fasted after I did so much research on it and realized that that's something that's very important for us to do. The first time I ever fasted, and the reason why I fast is because I feel like it gets any spirits that is attached to you off of you. Whatever, if you have a spirit of anger, a spirit of violence and stuff like that, you can fast to what you want to do is when you fast, you will ask the Lord to deliver you from whatever it is that you're trying to get deliverance from in the time that you're fasting. The best time to go is more than one day, definitely. But when I first ever started fasting, I went only one day only. And when I fasted one day only, it was so effective because I had never fasted before. And this is my experience. What happened to me when I had fasted the one day was, for one, my body was so weak, and I was only about 4 hours in, and I have went 4 hours without eating before, like so many times in my life. But this day, I think because I was fasting, and the fact that I was fasting was making it like, kind of unbearable. And at the same time, I had never fasted before, so I'm sure I had, spirits and demons attached to me at that time. I also want to add really quick that whenever we remember that you don't have to look possessed to be possessed. I feel like people have demons on them a lot, but people think you have to be something out of the Exorcist movie, or I think it's called Exorcist. That movie, and that means that you're possessed or that you have demons on you or with you, but it does not have to be that way for you to have demons attached to you. So I feel like the demons that I had attached to me at the time were making me feel like so sick just 4 hours in of fasting, and then probably in another light, maybe God was really, cleansing me and helping me, get these demons off of me. So I felt so weak and my head was hurting so bad. But this is what I did. I made sure I listened to sermons, and when I wasn't listening to sermons, I was listening to the Bible and reading the Bible and taking notes and things like that. So, and I was praying. So all those things that I did in just one day, within the 4 hours, led me to, mind you, I only did the water fast, and I'll tell you guys why I only did the water fast. Anyways, only 4 hours in, it led me to feeling very sick and very, very weak. Oh, so weak. And I ended up throwing up. I know it may sound disgusting, but it was just so much that was in me that I just ended up throwing up for no reason. It wasn't food or anything like that. It was just, if you ask me, I feel like I was throwing up the spirits that I had attached to me. But it wasn't food. I wasn't throwing up food. I just ended up throwing up a lot of green and clear. That's what I ended up throwing up. And after that, I felt even more weak. But I will say, through that whole fast, I felt like chills. And like, when I say chills, when I get chills, I don't know if everybody else have it like me, but whenever I get chills, it's just like, you just like get cold, and like bumps start to, come onto your skin and stuff like that. That's what was happening a lot to me through the fast. Honestly, you felt like a weight was lifting up off your shoulder. That's what I can say. I felt a difference. Like, I literally felt physically, I felt a difference. Not only because I was weak and stuff like that, but I felt like something was coming off of me. Like I was getting something off of me. I feel like demons can stay attached to us because of the things that we eat, and that's another thing that we have to realize. If you ever want to hear God more or be closer to Him and things like that, I promise you that fasting is the way to do it. I really do think that water fasting is most effective, only because juices and sweets and stuff like that are still close to, to me, feeding whatever is attached to you. But I would say if you're going a long time, like if your fast is like 2 weeks or a month or something like that, then I feel like it would be more okay to have juices or teas and stuff like that. But I would not suggest it if you're doing a short fast. I don't think that you should have juices and stuff. I think that the most effective fast for a short period of time would be to just have water. And if you don't have water, I do this. I'll have like 2 cups of tea or 1 cup of tea in the day if I really, really can't take it if I'm at work. And I don't know if it's just the warmness of the water that gets me, but I feel like it helps my stomach a lot. eating. So when you go a day without eating, or 2 days without eating, or 3 days without eating, it will be hectic. And you have to know that through the whole time, there's going to be temptation there. The whole time. You'll be thinking about food. You'll be going home and people are cooking your favorite meal. Or what happens to me is my friends at my job, they would like, when I was fasting, they would, when I'm fasting all the time out of the blue, coincidentally, they're going to get something to eat and they bought me something, or they didn't want to eat what they had bought and they're bringing it for me, or somebody's brought in a whole bunch of bagels or donuts on the days when I'm fasting. And that, I feel like, is nowhere near coincidence. I know that that must be evil, putting those thoughts in those people's head to, you know what I'm saying, want to even, you know, do that on those days. And I must admit, I have not always stayed strong from the temptation. Sometimes in my fasting, I have broke, okay? Then I must tell you guys, whenever I have ever broken a fast, it was never worth it. Oh my goodness. Like, it didn't matter how good the food looked. It did not matter. If I knew, usually it has a certain delicious taste to it. Whenever I break my fast, it does not taste the same. It never tastes the same. It tastes like it just was not worth it. It was always something wrong every time. So that's another reason why I'm telling you, cakes and bagels, it just did not taste the same. And I'm like, usually when I'm not fasting, when I go and eat it, it tastes so good. But when I break my fast, it just does not taste the same. Now, I have had times where I have went all the way through with my fast and then went to eat, and the same foods, they taste good. You know, they taste good. I don't know what it is for that with me. But it happens every time. Every time. Never once have I ever broken my fast and it was worth it. So, and then another thing about fasting is showing obedience to the Lord. So you might even beat yourself up about not showing him obedience, you know, to be able to let him know that you don't need anything of this world as far as food, what is supposed to keep us alive and stuff like that, which I know that it does, but to show him that you don't need any of that, and all you need is him, and he feeds you, he feeds your spirit and everything like that, that is just beautiful. That is wonderful. To get fed through his word the whole time, to get fed in him, just his presence. And I tell you, you're going to feel his presence even more when you fast. Now, I can say that I have never fasted more than 3 days, which is why I try to do a water fast, and whenever I did tea, I have tried to do a juice fast before, and I feel like it was just not as effective. Whenever I have drank tea, though, I told you once or twice in the day, but I never have it too sweet. I just, even though, you know, having tea may not be the best thing anyways, I just feel like sugars and stuff like that also feed the spirit, whatever that is that may be attached to you. So my tea is like really mostly just 2 bags of tea in there, and it's like pretty much dull, but dull is sour, is not even sour. The taste is just tart, very tart. I'm also the type of person to put lemons in my stuff. And another thing that may make it easier for you when you fast, sometimes, because drinking water and stuff like that can get a little bit hectic. So you can go ahead and put like lemon in the water. I try not to drink any of the seeds. If the seeds get in my mouth, I spit them out. I don't want to have anything, you know, like anything solid in any type of way. You know, that's what I don't want falling into my stomach. If it's liquid, just liquid, that's what I want, you know. So, and another thing is, whenever I have ever fasted, I feel like, hold on, let me really think. The thing that I also want to say is, whenever I have ever drank just water and constantly drank it like over and over again, as soon as I thought about food, as soon as my stomach hurt, I drank nothing but water. That has been the worst hunger pains I have ever had. And then, especially especially when you fill yourself up with all this water, and then after that you go and keep peeing, it just gives my stomach even more pain, just even more stomach pains. So I had met my friend a while ago who is from Africa, and whenever she would fast, she did not eat anything or drink anything. And in Africa, she was doing that for 6 days at a time. She would not drink anything, and not even water. So I tried to do that. I only do it 3 days, and I will tell you guys that I still do it a lot now. If anything, I'll drink water, but I don't drink much of it, because of the simple fact that it does not give me as much hunger pains at all when I don't drink. I hope you guys can hear me. But whenever I don't drink any water, I get less hunger pains. The less water that I drink is the better for my stomach. It just works. Everything is better. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm outside again over here at work. But yeah, the less water you drink, the better your stomach will feel. I don't know why, but it just does not have much hunger pains than when I drink water. Like I said before, you guys, whenever you do start to fast, it will be the hardest thing you ever done. Don't think for 1 second that people are just offering you food and stuff like that out of the blue, or your favorite meal is being cooked out of the blue. No, it's not out of the blue. It's happening because there's a spirit, a demon that is trying to keep you from being obedient to the Lord, trying to keep you from fasting. The quickest way to get demons off is to fast. In a story, I want to tell you guys a story for just another way. I'm going to start one really short story and then tell you guys another story for how for sure I know that fasting works. One situation is when I first ever started fasting, I would pray to God and stuff like that. And once again, those same chills, I would say, God, please deliver me from the demons that, I have attached to me. 3 days or 2 days is what I would do. And all the way till, never just 1 day, you guys. When I first ever started fasting, I did 1 day. When I first started fasting, 1 day. But now I go 3 days. You can go twice a month. I used to do it twice a month, and that was like the most effective of my life. Prayers getting answered, and then now I only do it once a month, which prayers are still, I don't really need for anything because the Lord is taking care of me, but I'll get more into that in a minute. So anyways, when I first ever started to fast, and I asked the Lord for deliverance when I'm fasting, like I'll say, Lord, please deliver me from whatever demons I have attached to me, anything that I have attached to me that's keeping me from you. Please take more of me and give me more of you, God, and remove anything that's on me that's once again keeping me from you. I could actually feel the chills coming off of me, okay? And that happened to me 1 day. The chills came off twice, as if I was getting delivered from, more than one thing that was attached to me. A little bit about my testimony and who I used to be. Before I started fasting, I was drinking a lot. I would call myself, I wouldn't say that, okay, before in my life, I would drink like alcoholic type of drink like all the time before I had came to the Lord. And then when I had came to Him, I was drinking like every day after work, but not as much like hard liquor as I used to drink. I just started drinking wine, but I felt like I needed it, or every off day. I felt like I needed it, okay? And then I was still a very violent person. I mean, like, if you said something that I did not like or anything like that, it was hard for me not to hit you or anything like that. Like, that I was still trying to come to Jesus. I was still a work in progress, but I definitely had a spirit of drunkenness or, alcoholism and violence on me, okay? And when I had first started fasting and stuff like that, feeling so weak and throwing up and things like that, I definitely got rid of those spirits. Oh my goodness, you guys. I don't drink like I used to. In fact, it's just whenever. Like, I don't have drinks every day. I used to have them like every day, every week, like drinking all through the day. Oh goodness, you guys, I used to have like waste so much money on drinking, okay, because it was so bad for me. And then now it doesn't matter what you say to me. I don't hit you. I wouldn't hit you anymore, you know. And I definitely know that I have those spirits delivered from me. Before, I remember times of when somebody would say something to me that I did not like. It was kind of like chills would just take over me, you know, like just this instant anger would just take over me. It was so bad to the point where people used to think that I was bipolar. That's how bad those demons had me. I used to be cool with you one moment, and then as soon as you said something that I did not like, I just snapped in within a second, you know. So definitely, I don't have that kind of problem anymore. People are not calling me bipolar anymore, and that's all through the help of Jesus. I didn't know what was going on with me. I thought that was a part of my personality. I thought that's just who I was. Until I started fasting and it's gone and I don't have that problem anymore. I know that it was Jesus and that was demons that was attached to me that I now have got delivered from. Thank you, Jesus. Another situation that I want to say for how I know for a fact that fasting works is my husband. When he was on drugs very much heavily and me and him were still separated on and off, I had finally went to my friend's mom after the Lord had revealed to me that this is who he wanted me to be with. Before this time, I was not trying to work it out with my husband. I was thinking that I had made a mistake. I didn't think that me and my husband were supposed to be together. I thought that I chose the wrong husband. I thought that my husband, God didn't want him to be my husband. Till the day that I tried to ask the Lord to remove me from my husband. And I asked him to open up a new place for me so that way I can leave him and he can stop just popping up in my life because he knew where I stayed. That night I went to bed and the Lord showed me pretty much that he was not going to do that for me. He let me see how much I really do love my husband, and I didn't even know how much I love my husband, but he let me see my husband dying literally without me, killing himself without me. And he let me see myself like unpack it in a new place that he had given to me. And then afterwards I went to my husband's funeral after I found out that he died. And originally in the dream, my husband was looking for me. He went to my house and he couldn't find me, and I wasn't there. I just didn't answer the door because I wasn't there, you know. But he was knocking, and I guess he assumed that I just wasn't there at the time we came knocking. And then he sent somebody else to go and knock on the door and see if they could find me. And then when they came and talked to him, and they was like, no, she's not there. She doesn't live there anymore. He killed himself. And mind you, he had already been taken over by drugs and everything like that. So at that time, that was very possible for that happening. He did not have any more faith in God at that time because his mom was getting ready to pass away. She had cancer. So he was just like done with the whole God thing at that time, you know. So when the Lord was showing me in the dream that after my husband had passed away, I was sitting there on the bed in the new place just talking to my husband, telling him, why did you do that? I really loved you. I loved you with all my heart. All you had to do was get off of the drugs, and we could have been a happy family. Like, you know, we could have been together. But I didn't even know that that's how I was feeling about my husband. At the time, I was done. I was mad, and I was fed up. And I just was ready to be done with him. And the Lord pretty much showed me that he was not going to, he loved my husband, even though he was doing the things that he was doing and the drugs that he was on, he loves him. And he was not going to let me walk away from him. And he knew what would happen if I walked away from him. And that's why he gave me the drink. So that's what made me wake up. I had went to my friends. I had talked to the Lord after he gave me a dream. And I said, like, if this is really my husband, Lord, like, really, if this really is, like, show me something, tell me something, you know, let me know that this is really who you want me to be with. And I went to my friend's house, and she can hear God very more clearly. I'm the type of person who I can hear God see, but after a while I start to doubt myself. When my friend, she knows for sure that she hears God, and he has spoken to me multiple times through her. like very clearly when I had first got to know her. And he had told her things about me that I didn't even, tell her. I just knew her. So, I went over there to her house after I got off from work, and she's like, he is your husband. He is who God wants you to be with. And I was telling her, are you sure? Because he's doing all these things, and he's just not doing what he's supposed to do. And she's like, he is. And so I talked to her mother, and her mother said, you need to fast for your husband 2 days and pray hard. And I said, well, how will I know that, that he's going to change or anything like that? She said, well, even if you don't see a result, right away by the next day or whatever, you'll start to see it definitely. You need to fast and pray for him for 2 days. So sure enough, you guys, I right after that, I fasted 2 days and prayed for my husband hard. By the next day I got off of that fast, even though it sounds horrible, my husband had gotten arrested and was put in jail. And when he was put in jail, God has sent some people, had some people in there that was ready to do his work. He had some young men who had been on the same drug that my husband was on, and they had got off of it, and they preached to him. I could say all the time what my husband needed to do, and but he needed a male's perspective of what to do, and somebody who also had been through what he had been through, because I never had been through what he had been through. And once he talked to them, he was delivered when he came home. His face was different. The way he spoke was with wisdom. It was just a totally different person. The reason why I say his face was different, because before my husband was on drugs, you could literally see the demons in his eyes. You could see him. I remember times when he would ever come to my house and there would be flies just sitting on the roof. Now, usually, you know how flies are. They're annoying. They're flying everywhere. They're all in your face. There'd be like 20 flies just sitting on the roof, just sitting there. Not even doing anything, just sitting there. And I noticed that. I had a whole bunch of dreams and a whole bunch of spiritual things happening in my house, like things moving, and you're hearing people walking down the hallway. My sister and her boyfriend, I let them live with me a long time ago as well, when this was happening last year, and they even experienced the same thing. So this was all what my husband was bringing with him anytime he came to my home. Anytime he came to my house, he had definitely demons attached to him. Not only could you see it in his eyes, but it was some craziness going on wherever he went, So from me fasting for 2 days and praying to the Lord, my husband was delivered immediately the next day. I wouldn't say immediately the next day, but the next day I started to see his deliverance beginning, And so, and that shows you how God works, because my husband did not need to go to any rehab or anything like that. It was pure God who helped him. God did that for him. Nobody else but God did that for him. My husband had been the skinniest little thing. He was so thin that his head looked big. And I'm not even trying to be funny, but he was really that thin. That's how bad he was on drugs. Now my husband just getting so big, and he already is bigger now, but he just, he just looked different. And the way he talks is with wisdom, and like he knows what he's saying. Before, the reason why I say that is my husband, you could not stand listening to him, because he didn't know what he was talking about. You just couldn't understand him. You couldn't listen for too long, because you're just like, what is this man talking about? But that was because he was on the drugs. Now when he speaks, he knows what he's talking about. He's just full of wisdom now. He's going to church 3 times a week. And that's because he decided to go to church, not me. I'm the type of person who felt like at one point in time that I didn't need to go to church, because I read the Bible, I Bible study on my own. I make sure I get church online, everything like that. That's the type of person I am. I just smother myself in the Lord, and I thought I didn't need to go to church. I already paid my tithes to a church, but I never been there, and so I didn't think that I needed to go to church. But now my husband, he wanted to go to church, and he goes on Tuesdays by himself for the prayer service, but 2 times a week we go together as a family with us and the kids. And that's because he wanted to do that. I didn't make him do that. He wanted to do that. Another thing, that I want to say is you can, every time before you guys fast, make sure you fast for a reason. Fast to get closer to God. Fast to find out where you stand with God. Fast to understand more. Fast for wisdom. And that wisdom fast is, the fast for wisdom is just awesome. I'm only 22 years old, and I talk to people who are way older than me every day. That is just the kind of group that I hang out with, and they get so much wisdom from me. They are so shocked about what I have to say and my answers from, the Bible and stuff like that whenever they ask me questions, because of the fact that I asked for wisdom from God, and He granted that to me. He gave it to me. And so that's the same for everybody. If you want to get wisdom and anything like that, I encourage you to fast for wisdom and discernment, all of those things. I encourage you to fast for it. Fast and even ask for fear of God, because when you fear God more, the chances of you stepping into sin on a day-to-day basis is very slim to none. I mean, if you fear Him more, you'll be worried about what you're doing at each step you take, worried about whether it's making Him happy or not, worried about whether it's glorifying Him or not. That's what you'll be worried about if you fear Him. So I encourage everybody to pray to fear Him more, and even fast to fear Him more. I don't know, you guys. I just know that fasting is very important. We all need to do it. I have really changed dramatically in everything that I do and everything that I say now because I had fasted. I had came to the Lord after He woke me up, but I had never fasted before. And once I fasted, that's when the huge dramatic change happened. Okay, if you're struggling with anything like cigarettes or anything like that, you fast for deliverance of that, and it will be off of you. I've only done 3 days at the most, and when I first started, I would do it twice a month, 3 days, or 2 days, twice a month, and that was so effective for me, you guys. Now I only do it 3 days once a month, but it still helps. I feel like the most effective way though was twice a month. Twice a month, I just, even when I talked to Him, when I prayed to Him, I felt close to Him. I felt like there was no doubt that He heard me. I just would get a feeling over me as if He was right there in the room the more I fast. So that's another thing. The longer you guys fast, I'm sure you guys will feel it. Some people can do 10 days. I'm still working on that. Some people can go 30 days. I have not reached there yet. I've only reached 3, but I tell you that even the fasts that I have done right now, they are effective. They definitely work. There's no doubt about it. Like I said before, people used to think that I was bipolar before. And now those spirits that was on me making me to drink all the time and just quickly turn to anger are absolutely gone. Okay? When you fast, you want to listen to sermons. You want to read that Bible, and you want to pray as much as you can. Okay? Some people can pray 2 hours at a time. I just pray a lot throughout the day. Probably 5 minutes at a time, 3 minutes at a time, just all throughout the day. Keep talking to Him, keep praying to Him. That is effective for me, and I'm sure it will be effective for you guys too. Just stay focused on Him, because He is what's most important, you guys. Definitely, He wanted me to make this video because He let me know that you guys are clearly struggling with that. Maybe you guys don't feel like it's important. Maybe you guys feel like you don't need to fast. But I'm telling you guys, He said that we need to fast. He said when you fast in the Bible. He didn't say if you fast. He said when you fast. That when right there, the word is just letting you know that that's something that we're supposed to be doing. So I just hope and pray that everybody will start to fast now. I pray that you guys will have a understanding and start to look up things and figure it out. Because that's what the first step was for me, to look up things and try to figure out why is fasting so important and what kind of fast is the most effective fast. When I fast, what should I do? What do I do? Look it up, guys, and do it. It's going to be hard. I'm telling you, after it's time, you'll never get used to it. That's honestly something that you'll just never get used to. But, I mean, as far as the hunger pains go. But as far as doing it, it's very important. And as far as it being effective, it will be effective. It's going to be hard because, unfortunately, we have demons around us 24/7 watching us, trying to break us. And prevents us from getting closer and closer to God. So every time you try to fast, they know that you're trying to get closer and closer to God. And they know that you fasting will be effective to them. You know, they can't do all the things that they once were able to do to you as well. But that's why we got to keep fighting through it. We have to keep fighting through the hunger pains, and we got to keep focused, and we got to make it through the fast. Start out with one day, you guys. Fast, and 1 day of fasting. And remember I said sermons or church and praying and, reading the Bible, reading His Word. And that will be effective. I promise you guys. I promise. But that's it for today. He wanted this topic today to be about fasting. I pray that a lot of you please fast now so that way you can get closer to Him. Anything that you are going through, even for family members, it works. Even for other people, especially for your husband, it works, you guys. Fast for him, and you guys, you will see a difference. So, God bless you all.